Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. Every law enforcement officer knows that fear and confusion can force an honest man to turn against his own ideals of law and justice. Such was the case with Raymond Harris. When he arrived from New York, his greatest distinction was his honesty. His next greatest, $300,000 in gems carried in his briefcase. Before the day was over, it became the Highway Patrol's job to save his gems, his honesty, and his life.
Mr. Harris?
Yes?
I'm George Haley, Dr. Corbett's assistant.
Oh, yes. Well, forgive my confusion. I was half expecting Miss Nelson.
Well, Laura had a few errands to do, so I'm filling in for her. I can understand your disappointment.
Oh, not at all, not at all.
Car's right this way. Don't you have any luggage?
Just this. I'm returning home as soon as I deliver the gems.
Yes, Dr. Corbett's been anxious to work on them.
May I use your phone, please?
Local or long distance?
Local.
Oh, yes. The operator will get it for you.
Twin Oaks 3-4, please. Dr. Corbett, it's Laura. If he was in the train, I missed him. No, I had car trouble on the way down and got here a few minutes late. But I've been looking for him for quite a while.
Well, no need to upset ourselves quite yet, Miss Nelson. I'm sure he'll call in. Harris is a dependable man. We'll wait a bit longer and then leave a message for him. That's right. Thank you. Patience, Chief. Won't be much longer.
All right, Harris, out. Leave that case in. That's what I want. Close that door. Now stand back there.
Those stones, they're worth a fortune.
Are they worth more than your wife and children?
What?
I'm not playing this game alone, Harris. I have some capable people on my team. One word to the cops about me, and you'll end up with empty rooms in your house.
But my family, they have nothing to do with this.
From now on, they've got everything to do with it. Just forget who I am and what I look like, and my friends will forget your family.
Please, listen to me. Dr. Corbett, my company, they'll know the gems are gone. You can't punish my family for that.
They'll know why they're gone. Just don't let anybody know who took them. You'll do that much for your wife and children, won't you, Mr. Harris?
MPF 686.
How long ago did this happen, Mr. Harris?
And it couldn't have been more than an hour ago. I called you as soon as I found the phone.
Weren't you suspicious when he drove you down that deserted road?
No, I'm a stranger around here. But I did remember that Dr. Corbett lived in some out-of-the-way place.
This guy, can you describe him? His car, his name, his clothes, anything?
I told you, Mr. Matthews. The man was dark, average height, wore glasses.
You described half the people in the state. Wasn't there anything distinctive about him? Scars or anything like that?
No?
What about the car?
Oh, well, if it's just a gray sedan, I don't know much about makes and models.
How about the license? Did you get any part of it?
Oh, I guess I was too frightened to notice.
Come in.
Hey, those mugshots you wanted.
Oh, thanks.
That call to the gem company is ready.
I'll take it in the other room. Mr. Harris, take a look at these. See if you can find a familiar face.
Oh, Mr. Matthews,
Yeah?
that call to my employers. Are you looking for holes in my story?
I'm looking for the right kind of an ending.
Easy there, Chief. Mr. Haley is our friend.
I hope he believes that, Doctor.
Why not? You had Harris convinced, didn't you?
Yes, I've never seen a man so frightened.
Knowing Harris, I can well understand it. There's nothing he prizes more than his family. Not even these.
You know, Doctor, I never held a gun on a man before, and I had a sudden urge. I wanted to shoot.
Beautiful, aren't they? Like frozen fire.
Yes, and getting hotter all the time. Doctor, what if Harris describes me to the police?
Relax, George. By the time Harris finds the courage to talk, you'll be in Mexico.
When do I leave?
Your train leaves the Twin Forks Depot at 2:45. Get off at Capital City and go directly to the airport. Your plane reservations will be waiting for you. You're all packed, aren't you?
All I need is the ticket.
Well, Mr. George Haley, and your reservation for Chief.
Am I going to be safe for that man-eater of yours?
Why, of course. He'll be in the baggage car. And these stones will be in the studs of his collar. It should make him more attractive to you.
Every time I look at him, I feel like a blue plate special.
Well, his sunny disposition will discourage any curiosity. You'd better run along now. You have less than 2 hours.
Do I take the dog now?
I'll deliver Chief and the gems to you in exactly 1 hour.
I wish I was on my way right now.
You haven't a thing to fret about, George. You're an honest, hard-working apprentice. You've never been in trouble in your life. Your reputation is impeccable.
Like yours?
Like mine. Our honesty is our greatest weapon, George. Far greater than that gun that frightened Harris. Everything's worked out smoothly so far. We'll complete our arrangements in Mexico City.
When will you be there?
As soon as I can leave without creating suspicion. You see, after all these years, I mustn't let anyone think I'm dishonest. I'll see you in an hour. With Chief.
Yes.
Thanks for the information. I'll be in touch with you. Find anything?
No, not yet. Did they confirm my story?
Company feels the same way I do. Thief knew too much about you. Must be somebody working on the inside.
Well, that could be anybody in the New York office. 50, 60 people.
Could be somebody out here, too.
Out here, there's only Dr. Corbett, and he's worked for us for years.
What about his secretary?
Miss Nelson? Well, she's as honest as Dr. Corbett.
We'll find out about that. You keep looking at the mugshots. I'll have a man work with you.
Oh, Mr. Matthews, would you mind if I call my family in New York? They're probably worried about me.
No, go ahead, call them. Tell them not to worry. You're all right now.
Here, Chief. Here, boy. Here, boy. Time we put your traveling clothes on. That's it. Chief, this is a $300,000 collar you're wearing. See that you treat it with respect, huh?
Well, looks respectable enough.
Everything in this case is respectable. Harris, Corbett, the secretary, even the crook.
The rock collector?
Yeah, he let Harris go. Anybody else would try to stop him from identifying him.
Oh, Harris hasn't identified him.
Yeah, and it's bothering me. You wait out here.
What is it, officer? Is Dr. Corbett all right?
Yes, ma'am. May I ask what your business is here?
I'm his secretary, Laura Nelson.
Have you been with him long?
4 years.
Do you like your work?
Very much.
Can't imagine who'd pose as my assistant. I've never had an assistant, Mr. Matthews. No, Chief.
What about your secretary?
Well, I'll have to let you be the judge. She's here now.
I won't take up any more of your time. I might bother you later, though.
Well, I'll do all I can to help.
It's quite a watchdog you've got.
Yes, a man in my business needs one. But Chief is taking his work too seriously. I'm getting rid of him. He's causing too much trouble.
It's too bad. It's a beautiful animal.
I shouldn't have missed meeting him at all, but my car broke down on the way to the station. When I got there, he was gone.
Pardon me, Miss Nelson. It's Mr. Matthews.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Miss Nelson's car broke down on the way to the depot. Otherwise, she never would have missed meeting Mr. Harris.
And then there wouldn't have been a robbery.
What?
That phony assistant. He couldn't have picked up Harris, could he?
What assistant?
What happened to your car, Miss Nelson?
The fan belt, it broke.
Well, that's a pretty new car.
A few months old.
Fan belt shouldn't wear out in that length of time. Where'd you have it replaced?
At a service station not far from here.
Show us where it is.
Certainly.
All right.
We're running ahead of schedule, Chief.
While Dr. Corbett prepared to send the dog and the stolen gems as far away as possible, the Highway Patrol took a step closer to the source of the crime. The broken fan belt became the missing link in the $300,000 puzzle.
Take a look at this fan belt. Took an awful sharp knife to cut it that clean.
Are you sure it's from my car?
It's the only one he's changed in 4 days.
Why would anyone go around slicing fan
To
belts?
stop you from meeting Harris?
Did anyone have access to your car before you left, Miss Nelson?
I don't think so.
Where'd you leave from?
Dr. Corbett's place?
Was there anybody else there?
Just the doctor. But certainly,
Could he have tampered with it?
I'm sure he wouldn't.
Did he leave you alone at any time this morning?
Yes. I was typing some letters in his office. He was working in his lab. You don't suspect the doctor, do you?
Could be. Only takes a minute to slice a fan belt.
Why? Why should...
For $300,000 in gems.
He's handled millions in his time. He has a reputation for honesty.
He's gonna need it. Get him.
Who's there?
Dr. Corbett, George.
Come in. You're early.
Things are moving more rapidly than I expected.
What does that mean? The police?
Now, don't get excited. You'll be on your way in no time, and there'll be no evidence for anyone. Chief will see to that, won't you, boy?
Doctor, I don't like it. You had everything planned, like clockwork. Now you're rushing things.
Well, don't you trust me?
I have no choice. But I think...
You've always had trouble thinking, George. That's why you've always been a nonentity. You came to me asking for help, seeking prestige, stature, importance. I'm giving you that opportunity. 1/2 of $300,000.
Opportunity. A gem robber.
You were proud of yourself a while ago. You'd actually frightened a grown man.
I was more afraid than he was. Now it's worse.
Your train leaves in 40 minutes. And take good care of Chief. His new collar is very flattering, don't you think?
the garage is empty.
Maybe he went out for cigarettes or something.
Let's try the house.
Well, you'd better let me go in first. Chief isn't very fond of strangers.
I found that out.
Here, Chief. Here, boy. That's funny. He never takes Chief anywhere.
Let us go in. You wait here. Didn't go for cigarettes, that's for sure.
Don't move.
I hope you gentlemen have a warrant for breaking in here.
Your secretary let us in. Sorry, Doctor, I want you to come along with us.
More questions?
Yeah, a whole lot of them.
Where's your dog, Doctor?
At a friend's. This robbery is bound to bring reporters, policemen, and other strangers. Chief doesn't get along too well with strangers. Right, Mr. Matthews?
Yeah, that's right. Now, let's go.
Go.
Headquarters.
Keep your hands off me.
Get in the car, Doctor.
Really, Mr. Masters, you're treating Dr. Corbett like a common criminal.
He's a suspect. He'll have a chance to clear himself.
Well, why him? He's never done a dishonest
Miss
act.
Nelson, I'd like to ask you some questions, too.
Oh, for heaven's sake, stop playing policeman. You're slandering the reputation of a wonderful old man.
Playing policeman is my job.
And working for Dr. Corbett is my job. He's never committed a crime more serious than double parking.
Yeah? I hope you're right. Will you go with us?
May I use my own car?
Yeah, sure.
How do you do, sir?
Is the 245 running on time?
As far as I know, it is.
How you making out?
Not so good.
This is Matthews. Get me a background on Corbett. Yeah, he's at headquarters now. That's Corbett. Harold Corbett, Ph.D. He's a gem cutter. He has a home laboratory about 12 miles from Twin Forks. Get me everything you can. Call me back. Thanks.
Well, you don't really suspect Dr. Corbett, do you?
What can you tell me about him?
Well, I can tell you he's an honest man. My company would vouch for him.
I wouldn't. Every lead has his name on it.
Well, what about the other suspect, the man who held me up?
You tell me.
Well, I did. I told you all I could.
It's not enough, Mr. Harris. You rode in his car in broad daylight. You rode for 8 or 9 miles. You must be able to tell me something. The kind of clothes he wore, his looks, his car. Tell me something.
I can't.
Why not?
I just can't, that's all.
What are you afraid of, Harris? How did he threaten you? He can't hurt you now. You know that, don't you?
It's not me I'm worried about. I don't care about myself.
Who do you care about?
Forget it.
Withholding evidence is a crime. If you think you're protecting somebody, you're quite right. You're protecting the criminal. The guy that robbed and threatened you into silence. So you better choose sides. You're acting more like an accomplice than a victim.
He said if I helped you find him, he'd get back at me through my family. I have 2 children, Mr. Matthews.
You think your kids are any safer this way?
He said I'd have empty rooms in my house. He said he didn't work alone.
That's no secret. If we pick up one of them, the others are going to take off. They're not going to wait around to frighten your family, so make up your mind. Who are you protecting, them or your family?
That gray sedan, the license number is MPF 686.
Go ahead.
The man, he wore a dark blue suit, tan shirt, blue tie. He had on eyeglasses. Very studious looking. He said his name was George Haley.
Thanks very much. Oh, Mr. Harris, don't you worry about a thing.
Mr. Matthews?
Later, Miss Nelson, please. Send out an APB on George Haley. Could be an alias. Have all the units checked for his car. Also cover all roads out of the state. Get one of the boys to get me a registration and make on his car. Walters.
Yes, sir.
Who's with Corbett?
Johnson and McKay.
Have one of the units cover the railroad and bus stations around Twin Forks. See what they got leaving and when.
Well, there won't be many, not out of Twin Forks.
That's good. It'll narrow it down. Have somebody check the airport of Capital City just in case.
Right.
Depot? Yep. Limited. Arrive in about 8 minutes. Yes? What's that? Well, now, I've got enough to do around here without doing that. What's that? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, officer, yes, there's one man waiting for the train. He's got a dog with him, too. I say he's got a dog with him. A German Shepherd dog with a... Hello? 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 Must hung up, I guess.
Walters, let's go to the railroad station.
Mr. Matthews, have you cleared the doctor? Do you have it all figured out?
Not yet.
I still think you're wrong about Dr. Corbett.
We'll know in a few minutes.
Excuse me.
Well, what is it?
Nothing, just getting some air. Nice dog you got. What do you call him?
His name's Chief. When's that train getting here?
Oh, about 2 or 3 minutes, maybe more. Don't always stop here, you know.
It will today, won't it?
Mary Paul Frank 686. That's his car, all right.
And here's Corbett's dog.
Yeah. I'll cover him from here. You try and get him from the back.
Mind your own business. Keep your nose out.
Stay where you are and put your hands on top of your head.
Stop. Don't you come any closer. I'm going to get on that train no matter what you do.
We can stop the train. We can do anything we want. You haven't got a chance. Put that gun away.
No matter what you do to me, I'll do worse to him. You have no reason to do this to me.
We've got 300,000 reasons in rough-cut gems.
What gems? You can search me. I haven't got any gems.
What are you doing with Corbett's dog?
Is that a crime, taking care of somebody's dog?
Take him away.
Well, Mr. Matthews, do you have it all figured out?
No, not quite.
Easy, Chief, easy. What is it?
I'd like to take a look at that dog's collar. I got it all figured out now. All right, let's go. See the Highway Patrol in action again next week. Until then, remember, leave your blood at the Red Cross, not on the highway. This is Broderick Crawford saying, see you next week.